London, 2001. Prince stopped his concert mid-song because a baby couldn't breathe. What he did next, running into the crowd, performing CPR, refusing to leave until paramedics arrived, became the most important performance of his life. 23 years later, that baby is named after him, because Prince didn't just give her music that night, he gave her life. September 15, 2001. The O2 Arena, London. 18,000 people packed into one of the world's most iconic venues. Prince was midway through his Hit and Run tour, and London had been electric from the moment he'd taken the stage. The setlist was a greatest hits parade. Let's Go Crazy, 1999, Little Red Corvette. The crowd sang every word, danced in the aisles, lost themselves in the music the way only a Prince concert could make you do. Now he was playing Kiss, that funky, minimalist track that made even the stiffest person want to move. Prince was in his element, purple suit, platform boots, guitar slung low, moving across that stage like he was born there. The arena was a sea of bodies, all focused on the man commanding the stage. Security stood at the barriers, lights swept across the crowd. Everything was perfect, until it wasn't. Sarah Thompson had debated bringing her daughter to the concert. 4-month-old Lily was too young to appreciate Prince, obviously. But Sarah's sister had surprised her with tickets months ago, and finding a babysitter on short notice in London was impossible. "She'll sleep through it," Sarah's sister Jenny had assured her. "You've been home with her for 4 months straight. You deserve this." So Sarah had come, brought Lily in a carrier strapped to her chest. The baby had been fussy before the show but seemed to settle once the music started. The bass, the rhythm. Babies like repetitive sounds, Sarah had read somewhere. Maybe this would work. For the first hour, it did. Lily dozed against Sarah's chest while Sarah sang along and swayed to the music. Perfect. Maybe bringing the baby hadn't been a mistake after all. But during Kiss, something changed. Lily started making a sound. Not crying. Something else. A wheeze. A struggle. Sarah looked down. Lily's face was red. She was trying to breathe but couldn't seem to get air. Sarah had taken a first aid class, knew the signs of respiratory distress. This was bad. "Lily? Baby, what's wrong?" Sarah tried to stay calm, but panic was creeping in. She checked the carrier, nothing blocking her airway. Adjusted her position, but Lily kept struggling, started turning from red to a terrifying shade of blue. "Jenny!" Sarah grabbed her sister's arm. "Something's wrong. She can't breathe." Jenny looked at Lily and went pale. "Oh my God. Sarah, we need to—" "Help!" Sarah screamed. "Somebody help! My baby can't breathe. She's dying." Prince was mid-verse when he heard it. A woman's voice cutting through the music like a knife, desperate, terrified, screaming about her baby. He stopped singing, kept playing for a beat, listening. There it was again. "Help! My baby's dying!" Prince looked at his bandmates, signaled them to keep playing, scanned the crowd. 18,000 people, most still dancing, unaware of the emergency somewhere in their midst. But some had noticed. A circle was forming, people backing away from something. Prince made a decision in less than 3 seconds. He stopped playing, held up his hand, the band stopped, the music died. 18,000 people went from dancing to confused silence in the space of a heartbeat. "Lights!" Prince shouted into the microphone. His voice cut through the sudden quiet. "Turn on the house lights! Now!" The arena lights came up, bright, harsh, exposing everything. The crowd blinked, confused. What was happening? Why did the concert stop? Prince was already moving. He handed his guitar to a tech, jumped off the stage, no stairs, just jumped the 4 feet down and started pushing through the crowd. "Where's the baby?" he called out. "Who needs help?" The crowd parted, confused, scared, following Prince's urgent energy, creating a path. And there, 20 rows back from the stage, was Sarah Thompson, holding her 4-month-old daughter. Lily's face was blue. Her eyes rolled back. She wasn't breathing. Prince reached Sarah in seconds. Security was trying to catch up, but he was faster. He looked at the baby, saw immediately what was happening. Respiratory arrest. Maybe choking. Maybe something worse. "How long?" Prince asked Sarah. "I don't know. Maybe a minute? 2? She stopped. Sarah was sobbing, unable to form complete sentences. Prince looked around. Did someone call an ambulance? Yes, a security guard shouted from nearby. They're coming. 5 minutes maybe. 5 minutes. Prince looked at Lily. The baby didn't have 5 minutes. He'd taken CPR training as part of his Jehovah's Witness faith. It was encouraged for all members, being prepared to help in emergencies. He'd renewed his certification just last year. Never thought he'd use it. Certainly never thought he'd use it in the middle of a concert. But here he was. And that baby needed help now. Give her to me, Prince said to Sarah. What? I know CPR. Give her to me. Now. Sarah hesitated for half a second. This was Prince, a stranger, a celebrity, asking her to hand over her dying baby. But desperation made the decision. She passed Lily to him. Prince laid the baby on the floor, the concrete floor of the O2 Arena. 18,000 people watching in complete silence. Every eye on him, every breath held. Have you ever watched someone make a choice that could save or end a life? That moment where everything hangs in balance? That's where Prince was, and he didn't hesitate. Share this story if you believe that fame means nothing compared to doing the right thing. Because what Prince did next proved that sometimes the greatest performance isn't on stage, it's in the moment you decide someone's life matters more than anything else. Prince began infant CPR. 2 fingers on the chest, 30 compressions. Gentle rescue breaths. He counted, focused, blocked out the 18,000 people watching, the cameras recording, the band waiting on stage. All of it disappeared. There was only this baby, only these compressions, only the hope that he remembered his training correctly. 30 compressions. 2 breaths. Check for response. Nothing. Lily remained blue, unresponsive. Sarah was kneeling beside him, crying. Please, please save her. She's all I have. Please. Prince didn't respond. Couldn't. All his focus on the baby, on the rhythm, on doing this right. 30 compressions, 2 breaths. The crowd was silent, absolutely silent. 18,000 people barely breathing themselves. Security had formed a circle around them, keeping people back, giving Prince space. Someone had brought towels, water, a first aid kit. 30 compressions, 2 breaths. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3. Prince's hands were cramping. His back hurt from kneeling on concrete. But he didn't stop, couldn't stop. This baby's life was in his hands. Literally. 4 minutes. 5. Come on, Prince whispered. Come on, baby. Breathe. Please breathe. 6 minutes. And then, movement. A cough. Small, weak, but unmistakable. Lily's chest rose, fell, rose again. She took a gasping breath, then another. Her color started to return, from blue to red to something closer to normal. Sarah screamed, not in panic this time, in relief. She's breathing! Oh my God! She's breathing! Prince sat back on his heels, hands shaking. Keep her on her side. Make sure she keeps breathing. Where's the ambulance? They're here! A security guard shouted. Pulling up now! Paramedics rushed in with equipment, oxygen, a gurney. They took over, checking Lily's vitals, getting her stabilized. Professional, efficient. One of them looked at Prince. Did you do CPR? Prince nodded. You saved her life. If you'd waited for us. The paramedic didn't need to. The paramedics loaded Lily into the ambulance. Sarah climbed in with her, still crying, still in shock. Before the doors closed, she looked back at Prince. Thank you. I can't thank you. Prince nodded. Go, be with your daughter. The ambulance left. Lights, flashing, siren, wailing, taking Lily to the hospital for observation. And Prince stood there in the parking area of the O2 Arena, still wearing his purple suit, covered in sweat, hands shaking from adrenaline, realizing he'd just saved a life. A security guard approached. Prince! The crowd. They're still in there. Should we cancel the rest of the show? Prince looked back at the arena. 18,000 people who'd just watched something extraordinary, who'd sat in silence for 7 minutes while he performed CPR on a dying baby, who were probably wondering what happened next. No, we finished the show, But give me 10 minutes. Prince went backstage, washed his hands, drank water, tried to steady himself. His band was there, waiting. Is the baby okay? His drummer asked. I think so. She was breathing when they took her. Man, I've never seen anything like that. You just jumped off stage and, wouldn't you? Prince looked at him. If you could help someone, wouldn't you? Yeah, of course. But no buts. That baby needed help. That's all that matters. 10 minutes later, Prince walked back on stage. The crowd erupted. Not the usual concert applause. Looked out at 18,000 faces, all looking back at him differently than they had an hour ago. I'm sorry about that, Claude, he said into the microphone. But I think we all just saw something more important than any song I could sing. That baby's alive. That's what matters. The crowd went wild, cheering, crying, chanting his name. Prince smiled. Let's finish this show. For her, he launched into Purple Rain, and 18,000 people sang along like they'd never sung before. Every word felt heavier, more meaningful, because they'd just witnessed what happened when music stopped and humanity took over. The concert lasted another hour. Prince played every song like it was his last. The crowd responded with an energy that transcended normal fandom. This wasn't just a concert anymore. It was a shared experience of witnessing someone choose life over performance. When it finally ended, when Prince took his final bow, the standing ovation lasted 15 minutes. Not because of the music, though the music was perfect, but because of what he'd done, who he'd shown himself to be. A performer who understood that some moments matter more than any show ever could. The next morning, Prince showed up at the hospital, unannounced, no cameras, no press, just him, walking into the pediatric ward where Lily Thompson was recovering. Sarah was sitting by Lily's crib when a nurse told her she had a visitor. She looked up and saw Prince standing in the doorway holding flowers. How is she? Prince asked. Sarah burst into tears. She's okay. They said if you hadn't done CPR when you did, she couldn't finish. Just stood and hugged him. This stranger who'd saved her daughter's life. Prince hugged her back. I'm glad she's okay. What did the doctors say? Respiratory infection. Her airways swelled shut. It happened so fast. They said another minute without oxygen and Sarah stopped herself. Couldn't think about what could have happened. But she's okay now. That's what matters. Sarah nodded. Because of you. You saved her life. How do I even begin to thank you for that? You don't. Just love her. Raise her. Tell her she's a fighter. They sat together for 20 minutes. Prince held Lily, this tiny baby who'd almost died in his arms the night before. She was awake now, looking up at him with big eyes, alive because a rock star knew CPR and cared enough to use. What's her name? Prince asked. Lily. Lily Thompson. Beautiful name. Sarah hesitated. Actually, I was thinking, if you don't mind. She took a breath. I'd like to give her a middle name, after you, to remember what you did, to honor you. Prince looked surprised. You don't have to do that. I want to. She's alive because of you. That deserves to be part of her name, part of her story. Prince smiled. What would you call her? Lily Prince Thompson. Sarah paused. Or, actually, Prince isn't your real name, is it? No, it's Prince Rogers Nelson. Then Lily Rogers Thompson, if that's okay with you. Prince looked at the baby in his arms, this tiny human whose life he'd saved, who would carry part of his name forever. It's more than okay, it's an honor. In 2001, social media wasn't what it is today. No Twitter, no Instagram, no viral videos. But the story still spread, fast. 18,000 people had witnessed it. Many had cameras. By the next day, photos and videos were all over the internet. Prince, stopping his concert, running into the crowd, performing CPR on a baby while thousands watched. News outlets picked it up. Prince saves baby's life during London concert. The story ran on BBC, CNN, everywhere. Video footage showed Prince on the arena floor, focused, determined, refusing to give up. But Prince refused all interview requests. Didn't want to talk about it. Didn't want to make it about him. The baby's alive. That's the story. I don't need credit for doing what anyone should do. His publicist released a single statement. Prince is grateful the child is safe and wishes the family privacy during their recovery. That was it. No publicity tour. No interviews. No leveraging the moment for good press. Just a man who'd saved a life and wanted to move on. But Sarah Thompson didn't stay quiet. She told everyone who'd listen. Called into radio shows. Posted on early internet forums. Made sure people knew what Prince had done. Not for his benefit, he'd made clear he didn't want attention, but because she needed the world to know who he really was. Everyone knows Prince the performer, Sarah said in a 2002 interview. The genius musician, the legend. But I know Prince the human, the man who saw a baby dying and didn't think about his career or his image or anything except saving her life. That's who he really is. Lily Rogers Thompson is 23 years old now. She goes by Deacon most of the time, a name she chose in high school because Lily felt too feminine for her non-binary identity, but the middle name stays. Rogers, always Rogers. Deacon knows the story, has known it their whole life. Every birthday, Sarah tells them again the night they almost died. The concert, the scream, Prince, running through the crowd. 7 minutes of CPR that saved their life. I don't remember it, obviously, Deacon says. I was 4 months old, but it's part of who I am, part of my story. I'm literally alive because Prince knew CPR and cared enough to use it. When Prince died in 2016, Deacon was 13, old enough to understand what the world had lost. They'd never met him. Sarah had tried to arrange a meeting over the years, but Prince's schedule made it difficult and he was private about these things. But Deacon felt the loss deeply. He gave me life. That's not metaphorical. That's literal, and I never got to thank him properly. Sarah did get to thank him, once more, in 2015, at a small charity event in London where Prince was performing. She brought Deacon with her 14 years old, healthy, thriving. Prince saw them in the crowd, recognized Sarah immediately. After the show, he asked to meet them. This is Deacon, Sarah said. Lily, the baby you saved. Prince looked at this teenager standing in front of him. Alive, healthy. You're beautiful, and so grown up. Thank you for saving my life, Deacon said. Prince smiled. Thank you for giving me the chance to. Not everyone gets to save a life. I'm grateful I could save yours. If you've ever needed a reminder that celebrities are human, that fame doesn't erase compassion, that sometimes the most important thing you can do is exactly what needs to be done, share this story. Because Deacon Rogers Thompson is alive today because one man made the right choice at the right moment. Deacon's story inspired something unexpected. After Prince's death, Sarah established the Prince Rogers Life-Saving Foundation. It provides free CPR training to parents, concert workers, and anyone who wants to learn. Prince saved Deacon because he knew how, Sarah explains. If he hadn't taken that CPR class, if he hadn't known what to do, she doesn't finish, doesn't need to. The foundation has trained over 50,000 people since 2016, and at least 17 of those people have used that training to save lives. Babies, adults, strangers, family members. Each person who saves a life using CPR they learned from the foundation receives a certificate. At the bottom, it reads, "In memory of Prince Rogers Nelson, who proved that knowing how to save a life is the most important skill any of us can have." Deacon works with the foundation now, travels to schools and community centers teaching CPR, telling their story, showing people that 7 minutes of knowledge can mean the difference between life and death. I'm alive because someone knew what to do and cared enough to do it, Deacon tells every class. You can be that person for someone else. You can be someone's Prince. Here's what Deacon wants people to understand about that night. Prince didn't save their life because he was famous or talented or special. He saved their life because he was prepared, because he'd taken the time to learn a skill most people never think they'll need. Anyone could have done what Prince did, Deacon says. Anyone with CPR training, but most people don't have it. And that's the problem. Studies show that only about 30% of adults know CPR. That means 70% of people would stand helpless in an emergency, unable to help even if they wanted to. Prince was in the 30%, and because of that, Deacon is alive. That's his real legacy to me, Deacon explains. Not the music, though the music is incredible. His legacy is showing that being prepared to help others is what actually matters. That knowledge can save lives. That caring enough to learn something you hope you'll never need to use is what makes someone a hero. The O2 Arena still hosts concerts. Big names, huge productions, but staff who were there in 2001 still talk about that night. The night Prince stopped a show to save a baby. It changed how we think about emergencies, explained a longtime security supervisor. We increased medical staff, made sure more people knew CPR, created protocols for exactly these situations. Because Prince showed us what's possible when someone's prepared and willing to act. The exact spot where Prince performed CPR is unmarked. No plaque, no memorial, just floor that thousands of feet walk across during every concert. But the people who were there remember, will always remember. I've worked hundreds of concerts, said one venue worker, seen every major artist, but nothing compares to watching Prince save that baby's life. That was the greatest performance I've ever witnessed, and it had nothing to do with music. September 15, 2001. London, the O2 Arena. Prince was singing Kiss when he heard a mother scream. He stopped the concert, ran into the crowd, performed CPR on a dying baby for 7 minutes, and that baby lived. Today, Deacon Rogers Thompson is 23 years old, alive, thriving, carrying Prince's name as a reminder of the night a legend became a lifesaver. Prince's fame didn't save Deacon. His CPR training did. His willingness to stop everything, the concert, the performance, the expectations of 18,000 people, and focus on the one thing that mattered, a baby who needed help. That's the real story. Not celebrity does good thing, but prepared human saves life because they knew how. The Prince Rogers Life-Saving Foundation has trained 50,000 people. 17 lives saved so far. 17 families who didn't lose someone because a stranger knew CPR and used it. That number will keep growing. Because Deacon is determined to honor Prince's memory by teaching others what he taught them without ever meeting them. That being able to save a life is the most important skill any of us can have. I never got to know Prince, Deacon says, but he gave me life. That's the greatest gift anyone can give. So I'm spending my life making sure others can give that gift too. Teaching CPR, training people, preparing them for the moment they hope never comes but might. 7 minutes of CPR, that's all it took. 7 minutes of knowledge put into action. 7 minutes that gave a baby decades more life. Prince knew those 7 minutes mattered more than any song, more than any concert, more than any performance. And he was right. The concert at the O2 Arena lasted 2 hours, but the 7 minutes Prince spent on that floor became the performance nobody will ever forget. Not because of music, because of life. Because of the choice to stop everything and do what needed to be done. Deacon Rogers Thompson exists because Prince made that choice. And 50,000 people trained by their foundation are prepared to make the same choice if their moment comes. That's legacy. Not the hit songs or the awards or the fame, but the lives saved, the skills passed forward, the proof that caring enough to be prepared can change everything. Thank you, Prince, for knowing CPR, for using it, for showing us that heroism isn't about being special, it's about being ready. And thank you, Deacon, for honoring that gift by teaching others, for keeping Prince's legacy alive in the most meaningful way possible. 7 minutes. One life, forever changed. That's the power of being prepared. That's the importance of caring. That's what it means to be someone's hero.